Testing. 1, 2, a breaker, a 1, 2. So, I just got through watching the Batman movie, and I've come to this realization about myself is that I, over the last 6 years, have grown some kind of emotions. It's kind of odd that I've grown these emotions in a period in time in which I can actually remember when I didn't have emotions. There's a couple of parts in the Batman movie that make me want to bust a tear. You know, I could tell you folks some of the plot of the movie or tell you what happened, but it won't make any difference, you know. But you like that, don't you? I know you do. The haters love it, and the player haters hate it. But the movie itself was a good movie. But what dampened my whole spirits about the Batman movie is all this whole big old thing I had to tell you about the movie based on the last video I did, you know, about the tragedy spawned from, you know, this idiot going to the movies. Um, the saddest part of the movie was when the movie was over, I came in here to post this video and I find that Sherman Hemsley has passed away. It's kind of weird that the death of George Jefferson precedes the video in which I was going to create. Those who watch my videos know my videos are solely produced within my mind. I don't sit down like everybody else because a lot of people do this. They write themselves out a little chart. This is my marijuana license, let you know I'm still legal. But now they have this chart they write out, and they will give themselves guidelines. See, I don't have any guidelines to give you. I want to tell you the movie was an excellent movie. It was ultra violent, um, and some certain aspects of the movie um, were pretty deep. Stuff that you would think about, because Batman himself is a self-proclaimed. I want to repeat, Batman himself is a self-proclaimed protector of the people. Batman is a rich version of Zimmerman. I already want to say the guy's first name. I'm just going to say his last name. What Batman does is some vigilante shit. And in this movie, it's a psychological twist and all kind of things in it. The movie was excellent. It didn't warrant going out killing anybody and all that good stuff. But the saddest part of the story I had in my mind was I was going to explain the movie. You know, how I see it and how I saw it and how I felt. And how I felt at that point where those people were murdered while I was watching the movie. As I'm looking at the back door, was there a shootout at the time? Yes, there was a shootout within the movie around the time these people were murdered. In watching the movie, you learn the characters and Catwoman, and her relationship with Bruce Wayne. There's one part of the movie where they raid an important part, of New York. I don't want to give any movie away because that's faulty for those who want to watch it. And when they break into this room, and they force everybody to the ground, and they're shooting the computers and blah 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 and yakety yakety. You think, yes, they're busting in a room full of people, a room where you know there's going to be people in it during that time of the day. They pull guns and they shoot into the air. One of the bad guys did shoot towards the crowd, but I'm pretty sure that was a mistake, because when you're first walking into the room, you don't kill somebody, then put the gun to the air to frighten them. So this group of people bust in this room, firing into the air, except for the one camera mistake where the guy was pointing like he's pointing into the crowd, but nobody fell down. You're point blank at a crowd, and you point at a crowd, and no one falls down. You know, um, overall, I give this Batman movie a 10, because this was a movie where you thought and you watched a movie and you felt sad, and it was a bunch of bad judgment calls in the movie and blah 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 and yakety yakety. But like I said, I started out with a video in mind, and then this has become a rest in peace Sherman Hemsley video. I want to say something about the Jeffersons for a minute. Now, when we were growing up, George Jefferson owned his own business. His wife was a maid for Archie Bunker. Once his business took off, they got their own maid. The moral of the story is this: for those who had good times growing up, Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, I want to take you back a little bit further to a little show with two main characters. The main characters were Amos and Andy. These two guys would get in some trouble and do all kind of crazy things. So if you can ever find an episode or two of Amos and Andy, I want you to watch those episodes and think about what those actors had to do to get to where they were when they did those episodes. And let's flash forward to the Jeffersons, which is no more than a spinoff from All in the Family. All in the Family was a show about a grumpy old white guy and his wife, his meathead son-in-law, and his daughter. Now, Mr. Bunker himself was facing a whole bunch of issues, like the black issue, the Mexican issue, and, poor whites, Jews. And Archie Bunker had to have a nemesis, almost an anti-Archie. The Bunker family had a maid for a short period of time, and her name was Louise Jefferson. Louise was married to a young dry cleaner by the name of George Jefferson. We're talking about fictional characters here. The Archie Bunker character was, quote me if you want to, because they even called him this to his face in the show several times, a bigot. Now, a lot of people equate me as a bigot. I just want you to understand that bigots have issues, and a bigot has issues against all people, not just black, white, or Hispanic. So a bigot will find out, or will put a bigot will mention everything negative or all stereotypes based upon what they've learned in their life. In other words, if black people do this, and they've seen black people do this, and all they know is what they've seen black people do, then he will honestly say something like, those black people do this, or why do those people do that? So I'm going to make a bigoted Hispanic statement. Why do Mexican people do this? When you have to mention the race of the person first, you might be a bigot. But bigots are not necessarily racist. So what was George Jefferson? Now, there was a family, I forget what the lady's name was, the black guy, the black lady and the white guy. They were, I forgot their names, but they had a son, and their son, I think their son, oh no, wait, the daughter, no, wait, okay, let me start that whole section over. The black woman and the white guy had a daughter, and the daughter dated Mr. Jefferson and Mrs. Jefferson's son Lionel. But Mr. Jefferson would always make statements that you know their daughter was a zebra, or he'd make statements like that. I remember the first time I saw someone who was supposed to be a transsexual. I saw that on George Jefferson. I mean, the Jeffersons, and George's old army buddy came from the army, but he had got a sex change. And that was one of George's pet peeves. George was the black equivalent to Archie Bunker. But let's take it another step further. Sanford and Son was definitely supposed to be the anti-Archie Bunker, because Fred Sanford was just as bigoted as Archie and just as dumb as Archie, but a lot more smarter than Archie, because Archie was a flat-out bigot and stayed in bigot mode. Let's take it to the next level. Carroll O'Connor, which played Archie Bunker, went on to do a show called In the Heat of the Night, based on a movie by Sidney Poitier called In the Heat of the Night, which was based on a character called Mr. Tibbs. So, as you see, Carroll O'Connor went from Archie Bunker to Gillespie, which was the chief of police in this town called Sparta, on the TV show In the Heat of the Night. What I'm trying to tell you is this. Carroll O'Connor went from a bigot on TV to in the movie, it was a police officer, the character Carroll O'Connor played, was a police officer who was struggling with his righteousness, I want to say, because he wanted the law to be done, but in the South, you couldn't impose a law against a white person if they'd done something to a black person. So the show In the Heat of the Night was a night and day contrast between Archie Bunker and Sheriff Gillespie. Getting back to George Jefferson. Now, George Jefferson showed people that they could have and run and control their own business. They can move on up to the good neighborhoods, to the better lifestyle. That's what George Jefferson taught people. Because the people in good times didn't teach you shit. Thelma, JJ, they all suffered and struggled every turn. Thelma gets married to the football player. He breaks his leg because the JJ did some dumb shit trying to take a picture of him or something. And they never really got out of the hood. And then when they finally did get out of the hood, they never showed them getting out of the hood. One thing George Jefferson did, that Fred Sanford could not do is show accomplishment on a grand scale. Moving on up to a penthouse on the Upper East Side, a deluxe apartment in the sky. What does that tell you about society now? A poor white man lives in a trailer, or he buys his house and struggles to keep it. A black man never goes to buy a house. He'll go buy a new fucking car before he buys a house. He won't even think about buying a trailer that he can own and call his own home. He'd rather rent an apartment and say, "This is my house." Your house? With someone living on top of you? Somebody living on the side of you? Somebody living below you? That's not a house. That's not a deluxe apartment in the sky. George Jefferson showed us what a condo looks like. George Jefferson showed us that we can have a maid, even though she don't listen, who went on to star in 227, which I think they should have made her a spinoff. But, hey, she didn't want to be a maid living on 227. Blah, blah. Spoke for 16 minutes. This was supposed to be a Batman video. But I'm talking about people now. Those people didn't deserve to die. Sherman Hemsley lived a good life. So what is the contrast in this story I'm telling here? There is no contrast. I'm the real AIX, and you've been tubed. But see, you don't understand that. Some people might see this video and think I want to blab off about some idiot who shoots a bunch of people in a theater. Well, that's exactly what he was, an idiot. Somebody left a message on that previous video to this one, stating that the government does this after time after time after time to steal people's rights and freedoms away. When you look at the video of the movie, and you watch the movie, and you think of it, the whole movie is about people's freedoms being taken away. The movie's about fear instilled in each and every one of us by some thug who has a bigger picture. A picture in one's mind that overclouds anyone's judgment about reality or non-reality. Even in the movie itself, there were some non-reality points. There are some things that could happen. There are some things in that movie that can go down. But why? What would possess someone to do something as ignified, unsanctified, stupefied, dumbified, and ignified as that? So you make up words just to get a point across, and people gonna look at you and say, "You can't make up words." Well, they make up words every day. People make up words every day. Your feelings are based on words in which people tell you. I can tell you to feel bad about, all those people died. Yes, all those people died in the movie theater. Hours later, 14 people died in a truck in Texas. Oh, they were illegals, so it doesn't matter. Well, what has society come to? We feel sad when Sherman Hemsley dies. We feel guilt and anger when 12 people get gunned down in the movie theater. A bunch of illegal people in the back of a truck trying to find freedom someplace else other than where they are die. And it's, they're illegal. So what have we come to? We got Columbine. We got Jim Jones. We got police killing people. We got neighborhood watch killing people. We got people fantasizing about killing people, going out and killing people. But where is the logic? Where is the human story? Oh, like the one woman said, He put his gun right in my face, and then I jumped into the aisle, and 5 hours later I saw her on TV saying, and then I was thinking about all the other people. Well, you forgot about all the other people when you stood in front of that camera and told them 5 different stories over the same course of many hours. Did you understand what I said? The lady told 5 different stories within 5 hours. And I understand grief. I understand shock. I understand. I know what those people was going through in their mind. I've been shot at before. I want to bring one more thing out. There has been guns in the schools in the African American communities for as long as I can remember. But we didn't really get no metal detectors until Columbine. There have been shootings in movie theaters throughout Oakland, California since as long as I can remember. But now you're going to get metal detectors. You're going to get people standing at the back door. For what? And now we're going to lose our rights. We're going to lose more rights because of this. It wasn't bad enough you shot Gabby. And you go to the movie and shoot up the screen and the people. How many rights can we afford to lose? Every 6 months, they take 6 rights. Why? What is the question that we need to answer about our humanity? When we feel bad when an actor dies, we feel angry when people get shot down, and we feel disappointed when the law doesn't work. We find racists when we say we need to change the laws. Then the law's got to be structured for one person to be down so the other person can be up. Why can laws be structured like that? Why should laws be structured like that? This idiot bought his guns 100% legal. Guns they would not give me, and his record is worse than mine. Guns they would not give me because I'm not a neuroscientist. Guns they would not give me based on what they think I may do with them. But now, you see on the news where gun sales, permits for gun sales have gone up 82%. Why? Why you need a gun? You plan on killing somebody? Or do you plan on somebody trying to kill you? I tell you what, I'm going to guarantee every single person out there, if I dress up in all this protective gear like that guy had on, if I booby trap my house like that guy booby trapped his house, and if I walk into the mall, a movie theater, gas station, restaurant, airplane, airport, if I walk into any building where there's a lot of people and I plan on taking people out, I don't plan on going home. That brings me back around to what the guy said. This is just a government trying to take your freedoms from you. And you look at it like this. This guy gets dressed up in his military gear. Wait a minute. This is Trayvon Martin, right? I'm sorry. So the guy gets in his military gear. And he booby traps his house. And kills 12 people. In a town called Aurora, meaning rising sunlight. A movie called Batman Rising, about evil resurfacing on such and such date at such and such time with so many people. And they broke all this stuff down to me. This number right here, and this number, and this number, and this. It was a government thing to steal our rights. And it doesn't seem so far-fetched now. After seeing the guy in court trying to hold his head up. After listening to the news report where the young African-American guy says he was on the phone like he was arguing with somebody. Then he left out and came back in and started shooting. I came up with this hypothesis earlier. There's two guys. One was supposed to go in this theater, and one was supposed to go in that theater. Only one of them completed their mission, and the other one that was sitting in his car, scared to death, never went in the theater one time. When that person walked out the theater, when the cops started showing up, who did they see sitting in the car? But the second guy that was supposed to do some shooting. I don't know. They said Lee Harvey Oswald acted by himself, but Jack Ruby shot him. After Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey, case was closed. Now, how'd that work? There's been a million different things that happen in this country, and there's a million things happening right now. Could we believe that the government wants your rights that bad? We're all lemmings in the first place. They wouldn't have to go through all of that to get you to sign over your rights. Well, it's kind of odd, though, I say something like that. After I tried to log into my computer today, I have a computer running Windows 8. To log in to get the best out of Windows 8, you have to use your Microsoft account. And I was told I had to change my password today because someone might be in my account. For real? Somebody's in my account? Why? People always wonder about my left eye. I always hang up like that. It's always been like that. Something with my left eye. Not the right one, the left. Always done it. Someone is in my account, they say. Change my password. In order to change my password, they need my cell phone number to text me. We have to text you. Your new number. So I did everything. They didn't text me. Everything but give them my phone number. Nothing would work. I could not turn my computer on until I gave them my cell phone number. Then my computer popped on fine. I was pissed off then. You forced me to give you my number to turn the computer on? You forced me to buy a new copy of your program just so I can use my computer? You forced me to give my phone number to you? Then I proceeded to go watch the Batman movie illegally. You're damn right. Sat there on a 200-inch screen. Popcorn. Bottle of wine. Don't believe me? Still got the bottle. Motherfucker, I'll show you. It was one of these two I was sipping on. I am civilized. I will go get a glass. I live in Sonoma County. This ain't no cup. So it saddens me that an American television icon has passed away. All of you may look at him and laugh when he do this thing like this. But it's all good. So, I want to say rest in peace, Aurora. Rest in peace, Batman. Rest in peace, George and Wheezy Jefferson. Rest in peace, Sherman Hemsley. And I'll also put one more thing at peace. You know what I'm going to do. I already told you once. You have been tubed. And I know you folks are waiting for another episode of 40 minutes. It's not like that no more. I can only straight up talk to you now. Because I'm trying to let you know and let everybody know. I'm real. No matter how hard it is for people to try, they got to succeed. Because you have to be real in order to succeed. Fakeness only gets you so far. When you're real, you have no other way to go. Good, bad, happy or sad, whatever you do, as long as you're being real, doesn't matter. Like I said, good, bad, happy or sad, just be real. And understand this. If you're feeling down and out, and the world is against you, it's only in your mind. Because you have not done anything to deserve the way you live, the way you're treated, and the way you have to treat other people to survive. We're mere rats in a maze. An experiment on a petri dish. What you believe is real is fake. From your $2 shoes to your $1 name. Everything around you is an illusion. The only thing that is real in your world is you. Because even the words I'm speaking do not amount to a hill of beans if you don't understand what I'm saying. We can all be happy. We can all be sad. But if we're the only one who cares about our own feelings, we'll be exactly what we are. Frustrated, tired, angry. Each and every one of us Americans is frustrated, tired, and angry. From the age 10 to the age 103. Those are the intangibles in which we have to live in every day. Know this to be a fact, and this to be true, and this to be real. The person next to you, the first person you see in the morning, may be angry, mad, or sad. No middle. No, oh, I'm happy today, honey. Angry, mad, or sad. You can put frustrated in there too, because that's what it is. And you've been too.